Hello everybody, warm welcome. Here we are back in the studio and I'm continuing on with those few tea bowls or drinking vessels that you saw me make a la musica to the music. And what I've got to do now is dip them into a Shino glaze. I'm just going to incline the camera down there so you can just see here. These are the ones. I've had them, as you see, under wraps a little bit since I trimmed them because I don't want them to get too hard. I'm going to dip these in the Shino glaze, which does have quite a lot of clay in it, as well as a small amount of bentonite, and because it's got that quite a high percentage of clay and bentonite, I'm reckoning that I'm going to be able to glaze these in their raw state. These are not bisque fired, these are just in a leather hard green state. So I'm going to dip these in the Shino glaze. The thing that's something to bear in mind is when you're glazing raw ware like this, that you have to be aware that the pot, as it's drying, becomes more absorbent as it dries. And if you're just going to put, say, a glaze on the inside of the pot and not on the outside, you'll probably crack the pot, because the pot, in trying to absorb the water, expands from the inside outwards, if you get me. And what happens is, as it expands, it suddenly goes like that, and it will crack the pot. I've had a lot of pots that have cracked. I've seen a crack appear here later on as it has absorbed that water glaze on the inside of the pot. So the important thing, of course, is to glaze the inside and the outside at the same time to counteract that tendency. So let's just, I'm going to get us down here in the bucket. You can join me in the bucket, and let's talk about the thickness of the glaze and demonstrate some double dipping. I know you've seen me do this before, but it doesn't hurt to see it again. I want to make sure that the glaze thickness is about right, because the Shino glaze is applied not too thick, slightly on the thin side perhaps, and then that allows you a little bit of extra coating where you'll get then it coming through more whitey. So I'm giving it a good stir from the bottom. You can, I can hear a horrible lawnmower. Let me shut the window. We don't want the sound of a lawnmower intruding. We may have to suffer it, I'm afraid, because it's my neighbour, and I can't go and say to my neighbour, "Excuse me, dear neighbour, would you mind shutting that lawnmower off, because I'm trying to do a clip." Don't think that would go down very well. Anyway, so let's talk about the thickness here. Now, I know everybody has. Somebody said, dip your hand in it like that, and if you can see the hairs on the back of your hand just sticking through, it's about right. Well, hang on, I need something to wash my hands in and a sponge, don't I? Oh, I've got a towel here. I think looking at that glaze, I would say personally that is about right. Of course, the ultimate test is actually taking a pot and dipping it in it and seeing how it appears. Now, what I plan to do is, with some of these, I plan to double dip them. And so let's take one. Let's take this fella. Now this one doesn't have a very deep foot here, so it doesn't give me much to hold on to. So This one has got a little bit more of a foot, a bit thicker. So, Richard's sewing machine, I mean washing machine, no. Lawnmower. Making that din out there. Okay, so when double dipping, I generally, you see the corner there, I just take it past the corner, but I don't take it over the foot. In this case. So down we go like that, and just take it about halfway, and then like that. And shake it, and then let it out. Now, my experience tells me, limited though it is with Shino, that the thinner it goes, the more reddy and pinky it goes. So let's put that one to one side. As it begins to dry, you begin to get some idea of the thickness there. All right. So this is a learning curve we're on at the moment. Let's try another one, but this time I'm going to give it a quick dip like that. Okay, inside and outside done, and now I'm going to go down again just on the outside very quickly. That should give us just a little extra thickness, hopefully. Dee dee dee. Okay, let's put that one down carefully. Now, I'll tell you what I wanted to do. Oh dear, I haven't got it here handy. I wanted to, let me just quickly get it though. Hang on folks. I'm pretty sure that, and I've got here a bit of iron oxide as you can see, I'm pretty sure that the outside, the amount of red that you get with a Shino, you get that nice sort of pinky red coming through. I think that relates to some extent to the amount of iron that there is in the clay body. So, this one, which doesn't have any kind of crisscross or impressed pattern on, let me just pull back the camera a touch a moment, because what I'm thinking of doing is just take a little water here, put it in here. I'm working. What I want to do is I want to introduce a little bit of iron oxide onto the surface of the pot before I dip it into the glaze. So I've just done this very. Whoops, that was a bit watery, wasn't it? Never mind. Okay, better idea. I'm just gonna. Okay, I've just brushed on loosely some watery iron oxide onto the outside of that. Alright, welcome to my experiments. So now, some of these that we just did, I'm now looking at again with a Shino glaze. think I maybe have made this glaze slightly on the watery side, actually. I'm just going to do another one. Yeah. Okay, let's take this one. Now, being of course raw like this, they're not bisqued. There's not really any dust on them. Anyway, I've only just made them. So I'll tell you what I'm going to do with this one. I'm not going to double dip it. I'm going to pass it through so that the glaze goes into the foot here. Okay, over the whole pot. Let's just do that. Pour it out. Okay. Let's do the same with another one. Now you have to be a bit careful with a raw pot, because it quickly, depending on how dry it is, you're holding it here on the rim. If it's too fine, the rim there, you could crumple the rim because it becomes soft, you see, very quickly. So I'm going to put that in. Alright, now, how about that one I just you saw me brush that iron oxide. That's this one. Let's just dip that one. Yeah. I'll be interested to see what effect we get from that. So over there we can see some of those that we just did. Drying off. Going to keep the glaze on the move, okay? Don't let it sediment out. Because this glaze has a lot of clay and bentonite in it, it holds itself in suspension pretty well, actually. Let's do another one. Maybe we'll double dip this one. I encourage you to practice double dipping. It's a great saver of time. Now you appreciate, the more green these pots are, in other words, the more moisture content they've got, the less thickness of glaze they're going to take. This one, you see, I've let it dry a bit and I've dipped it again on the outside. Here comes the lawnmower. Okay, I'll find a place to put that guy there. Okay, I've got 3 more left. I'm not going to do those right now. What I'm going to do is I'm going to let this, going to leave it for the moment. No, I'm not. I'm going to do. Tell you what I'm going to do. Just going to. kind of experimenting a little bit here. So I'm just brushing on a bit of iron oxide here over the surface. Change my mind, I'm just going to brush it on like I did last time. Sort of random broad brush strokes like that, just a wash over the surface of the pot. And dip the fella. I may find where I've brushed on the iron oxide it crawls. Who knows? Okay. We'll see. We will see. Anyway, as you can see, folks, I'm practicing. This is the one you saw me grate. I don't know if you can see it, but I just added a little decoration to it because I don't know if you can see there, I've just added a little above the grates, just some scratchings to make it look like the heads of flowers. So, you know, I encourage you to work spontaneously. Whoops, sorry. I encourage you to work spontaneously. You'll do something to a pot which will then make you think of something else. And so do it, you know. Add that little something else that you hadn't thought of maybe when you originally did the scratchings. You then afterwards. In fact, I was upstairs.